Janet with Crafting It Up and Creations, coming at you today with a super fun Dollar Tree DIY. Now this is my take on making some pallet coasters. I saw a similar idea and it was actually in one of the Mennonite stores. We have a Cheese or More store in our area, and these were produced probably by a separate company. They weren't handmade or anything. But it was in one of those stores that I saw them, and it gave me this idea of something that I could do myself to recreate them, and at a much cheaper price using Dollar Tree inspired products. Now, you could use some type of glues that aren't technically at the Dollar Tree, but they do sell hot glue. But the basis for it all are these tumbling tower games that they have. Now during Easter they had these as basket fillers, so I bought a bunch of them and I just love them. You can make all kinds of different things with them. There's several crafts out in YouTube world that use these tumbling tower games, and it's made similar to Jenga. Now the ones here at Easter have the two different colors in them. They have the brown and just the natural. And then there's also some, but prior to now, that were just the natural color. So this is basically what I'm going to do with it, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. It's very simple. You don't really even need a tutorial once you see it, but it's just to kind of give you an idea. The first two I made, you can see that I used 6 on each side, so it's 12 pieces on the top and the bottom. And then I decided that that didn't really look technically like a pallet, and that I could actually take a couple out of there and use less at a time. So that's what I decided to do when I made some in the future. Now this is some Alene wood glue, and you could use any type of wood glue, or you could just use the hot glue. Now this is a detailed glue device, and it's really nice because it kind of sets a really thin line. And that's kind of what you want when you put it on these blocks. And I mainly just do that just so that it puts together faster, so I can show you exactly how I made them. Now I just started picking up a bunch of different pieces and throwing a line of this Alene's glue, wood glue on them. And I do a bunch of them so that I can just kind of start piecing them all together. And it's kind of good if it sets just for a few minutes anyway, and it kind of gets a little bit tackier as well. Now you'll actually need 2 sets of blocks to make a couple coasters. But I just put a thin line of that hot glue, stick them together, and then I'm going to go through, add the hot glue again, and piece them together. So I do 6 in a row, and then I do another 6, and then I'll glue them in between that seam as well. And I'm sure because it's Dollar Tree, some of them are different sizes. So some of them are thicker than others, some are thinner, some are, I even have one that has like a little chip place in it later, that I make sure that I have like on the bottom section of it, and I put a little wood glue on it to stabilize it and hold it together. But this is basically what you're going to do. And I kind of speed up the process so I don't have to bore you with putting it all together, because basically putting it together is the easier part. Hopefully I'll just give you some ideas of something that you can in fact do with this, so you can make these all on your own as well. So once you kind of have an idea of what a pallet looks like, it becomes easy. But we're going to put 2 on the outer edge and 2 along the middle, and of course that fits perfectly with the row of 6. And then I'm going to add 2 in the opposite direction of those as well. Like I say, I use the hot glue just to kind of hold it. It just works a lot faster that way, and then the wood glue gives it more stability for later on. Any of the excess glue I kind of wiped up with a dry towel. Now I have a bunch of different things that I've cut out with my silhouette. These are vinyl designs that I've used in other projects, and I cut extras out of them. And I even use the positive and the negative spaces for some of the vinyl cuts. This is a cute little reindeer one. I've got some arrows and some flowers. And a lot of these I actually just used them kind of like a stencil. And this is transfer paper. You can buy it with the silhouette stuff or your Cricut or whatever type of cutter you have, but you can also use this magic cover. You can get this at Walmart, and you can even get something very similar to it at the Dollar Tree, but it's liner for like shelves and cabinets, but you can use it also to transfer your silhouette images or your vinyl images over to these wood pallets. Now I rub it down with my finger, but honestly it kind of took a popsicle stick in order to get this stuff to really hold down really well. And if you peel it up and it's not stuck to it, you just lay it back down and smooth over a little more with a little more pressure, and then it'll stick to that. And I kind of try to decide where am I going to put it. And it's kind of nice, you know, the transfer paper see-through, so you can kind of tell where you're going to put it and if it's going to fit. And then you want to rub it in really well onto the wood, especially if you're going to use it just as a stencil. If you're going to leave it there, of course, you're going to want to rub it in really well too. But if you don't rub it in well enough, of course, the paint will seep in under the stencil. But different things, you know, like the huge heart, you don't have to transfer it over to the transfer paper. You can just peel it off and stick it to it. But anything with these little details of the horns, you know, it'll pull those apart or won't set right once you lay it down. So you almost have to have this transfer medium to put it over onto your little mini wood pallet. And then I'm going over that one with a popsicle stick to stick it on there. I did several different things with these. I used chalk paint mostly with all of these in the color Elephant, Ivory, Mystic Pearl is one of the grayer colors, and Chocolate Truffle. And all of those were from Walmart. The little smaller bottles are like $1.47. And I just love them, and they go a long way for me. Like I'm still using some of the same ones. I actually had to throw one out just because it had gotten down to the like last bit of the bottle and it had dried up. But this is the Waverly chalk paint. This is just one of them. This is the Elephant. And I use the negative space of the heart here, and I'm gonna pull it up off of this palette and reuse it for a second one as well. And this one's kind of the plainer one that I have, and I may end up going back and maybe adding another saying to it or initials on it. Anything's a possibility. I have sealed it with a sealer, but you can always add something above the sealer and then reseal it again. And you could use Mod Podge that the Dollar Tree has, or any type of spray sealer. And this one's still wet, and I'm just going to go ahead and pull the negatives or the positive space off of it. And the only bad thing about using this and not painting it underneath is you can't really go back and fix your mistake, because I'm going to show you here in just a minute how to, you know, go back in and just kind of fill in the area if it bleeds through. And of course, if you don't want paint in an area, like here, I decided I would just paint the top edge, and I got it in one little small area. I just sanded it away, and it worked out really well. And in order to distress some of them, I sanded it on top. And I thought that kind of just made it look more rustic or primitive, you know, shabby looking. Now this is just a little number 2 brush, and I'm going to take some of that ivory paint and paint over the area where that gray bled through. And it was mostly where it met there at the creases. I did one with the deer, and I decided I wanted to distress it a little. And I got a little heavy-handed with the brush near one end, so I had this larger place, so I just made both of them kind of look the same. Now here I'm taking a craft knife. I want to leave this vinyl on there because I really like the way it looks. It sets flat enough. But as you can see, some of those don't exactly lay flat. It could be the glue or anything. But I'm just going to take my craft knife, and everywhere that it goes in between the little pallet pieces or the Jenga pieces, I'm going to use the craft knife and cut them and then smooth it down in there. And it almost makes it look like I pieced them individually onto each block. And I just go through and I do them all that way. I use this Krylon crystal clear flat finish sealer and sealed all of them up. And I put a dot of water on a couple of them afterwards just to make sure that it would hold off. I do use a lot of no sweat cups, but still. You can turn any of them into just decoration. So I used the little wood pile pieces. And I even used the screws on there and screwed them into the wood. Added a couple little paper flowers. And I added the little hearts with the cross in it. And I set this in my bathroom. I haven't put anything on it just yet, but you know, maybe like a perfume bottle or just about anything can go on there. And that's how it's kind of set up in the bathroom. But here's one with the cup sitting on it. Would look really cute on a coffee table in a living room, or just to kind of add some decoration. But you could definitely use them just to set them up on a fireplace. This is still some of my Easter decor that I haven't exactly put away. But it's good spring decor too. But I really love how they turned out. I got carried away and I did so many different ones. I'm having a hard time kind of picking out my very favorite one. But I love these deer. And I really love the sunflower ones. And I love the one with the wolf on it. A couple of them I only have like one of each. But if I have doubles, then I was going to try to stick them together and make them as a set. And maybe put them in a future craft show. So if you like these type of videos, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. That'll notify you each and every time I upload a new video. I try to come up with some new content here and there, and this is something that I hadn't seen anybody else do, and I was super excited to put these together. This has probably lasted well over a week, and I had a lot of editing to do with some of these, but I think they all turned out super cute. If you have a favorite one, let me know in the comments down below. And of course, as always, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you and your sweet comments, and it really does make my day. And it makes me want to keep doing this and sharing my ideas with you and share my love of crafting. And that's what I think it's really all about. Not only giving somebody things, but empowering them to make things their own. And like I say, you could do all kinds of different things with these. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day. Take care.